everyone, welcome back. Today I have another knitting podcast episode for you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dakota and I'm 29 years old. I live in New Jersey and I work as a dietitian, and knitting is my primary favorite hobby in the whole world. It brings me so much joy and I love getting to share about it on here and also hear from other knitters on here. So that's why I have this YouTube channel. So welcome. If you watched my last podcast episode, I was working on a t-shirt. I had started a cardigan, and today I'll give some updates on those projects. So summer is officially here. In my opinion, I know it's not technically summer, but here in New Jersey, in the northeast of the US, it's been very hot. We are officially in like the upper 70s, low to sometimes even high 80s Fahrenheit, which is very warm, and to me it's summer, even though it technically is still spring. So yeah, to be honest, I haven't really been knitting that much in the last month. I would say my work schedule has really gotten busy. I've been working like more full-time hours, and on top of that, just life has been very busy. If you don't know, I got engaged in February, so we have been planning for the wedding, and although now we're officially less than a year away, we were very proactive about just getting our venue right away. We pretty much have our catering all set up. We have a lot of things planned out already, and it's been so much fun. I know like wedding planning is known to be very stressful, but at this point in the process, it's been very enjoyable, and I'm so grateful to my fiance for just like stepping up and helping and not just like leaving it all to me. I'm also so grateful for my maid of honor and all of my bridesmaids. I never envisioned having a big wedding. I never even thought I would get married, to be honest, when I was younger, but having like solid people around, I'm so grateful for, and it's made the process like so much just like smoother than if it was just me like planning all by myself. So that's been awesome, and I'm so grateful. But really, that's been taking up a lot of time. We've been traveling to go see the venue. We are gonna go travel to have like a food tasting. So on top of that, like in my free time, I just love looking up like wedding inspo. So that's been really awesome. But also, like, again, life is just so crazy. I volunteer. I serve at church in the middle school youth ministry, and that's wrapping up. It'll be over towards the end of June, so I will have some more free time, but it's just been a commitment that I've had to prioritize over having free time to knit, and that's okay. Also, just like usually during the week, like after work, I have stuff I go do. Now that it's warm, I've been wanting to bike more. I joined like cycle class and just wanting to be more active, because I feel like over the winter, I really was just like a homebody. I stayed in a lot and I got a lot of knitting done. And now I'm just wanting to be outside more. So the seasons change and my momentum for knitting changes, and that's okay. But yeah, just a little life update. That's what's been going on. I've had someone ask me if I'm gonna knit something for the wedding, and I'm not sure. I did buy my dress already, and it's kind of like off the shoulder, long sleeve and lacy, so I don't know. Like, I had thought about doing like a what is it, like a shawl, almost like a lace motif shawl, or a wrap, but I just feel like that might be a lot with all the lace that's already going on. So I don't know. I definitely want to knit something for my fiance, either to give to him on like as a gift on our wedding day, or like by Christmas, because it's gonna be May, so he can't really wear the sweater when I give it to him, but we'll see. we'll see what happens, but I really do want to knit him a sweater. I've never knit a men's sweater, so that would be really fun. But anyway, so let's move on to my one finished object that I have, and that is what I'm wearing right now. Keep in mind this is not blocked yet. I literally just finished it right before I started filming this, so it's not blocked yet. And I'll insert some video of me wearing it, so yeah, just keep in mind that it's not blocked. But even though it's not blocked, I really like the way that it fits, and I think it's gonna fit even nicer after I block it. So this pattern is the Plaine Yoke tee 20, and it's a pattern by Leknit. And let me just give you some details about the pattern first before we dive into my thoughts. So this pattern is a very simple stockinette circular yoke t-shirt. It comes in a variety of sizes. It measures from all the way from 87 centimeters to 155 centimeters. So it goes from an extra small to a 5XL, so plenty of sizes to choose from. I personally knit a size small, so that was the 97 centimeters. And it is intended to have positive ease of 8 to 14 centimeters. Right now mine isn't blocked, so it's a little bit tighter, at least on my arms. So the needles suggested for this pattern are, there's 3 different ones. I personally, sorry, there's like a truck backing up, I think you can hear it. I personally didn't use all 3, I only used 2. So it's primarily knit on a 4mm needle, and then you can use a 3.5mm and a 3mm. I only used a 3.75 and a 4 because that's what I had available, and it still worked out perfectly. For yarn, it recommends Sanduscar and Line, and that's exactly what I used for this project. The gauge for this was 20 stitches by 29 rows on 4mm needles, and I did hit gauge spot on, which was great. And the way that this is constructed is you cast on at the neck, and it's just a very like raw edge cast on. I did the long tail cast on. I think it's called German cast on. It's the one that's just a little more stretchy, I think. And then this pattern is really nice too because it's completely beginner friendly. I think you can either do no short rows. There's options for like a more novice beginner t-shirt that includes no short rows, or you can opt for the short rows, which is what I did. I personally don't mind short rows at all, and I really like the effect of how it elongates the back, and it's just a little more flattering, especially if I want to like tuck in the front. So I went with the short row option, and then you work through your yoke. So I really like this yoke because it's simple, but it also has a little bit of detail that is just subtle and very cute, I think. So once you finish your short rows, or I think it's even while you're doing your short rows, I could be mistaken, you will start doing something called left leaning increases, which is different than a make one left. I didn't know, so I actually did my first row doing make one left, and I realized it didn't quite look as dramatic as it did in the pattern. So the left leaning increase is a little bit different. You're actually going like 2 stitches under and picking up, and doing it that way rather than like picking up as you would in a make one left, like from the little bar in between the stitches. So it kind of creates these elongated stitches, and the overall effect is kind of like this cascading sun ray type of vibe, which I really like. And it kind of reminds me of the Sunday Tee by Petite knit, but like not at all. if that makes sense. So yeah, I really enjoyed the yoke. For some reason, the yoke felt like it took forever for me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the yarn. I don't know. I don't know what size yarn Leknit is, but it just felt like it took forever. And then you will split for sleeves, work the body until your desired length or what the pattern calls for. And then you just bind off in regular bind off. You can choose whatever bind off, it just says bind off. So I chose to do the standard bind off. And I really like how it turned out. I tried to make sure that I didn't bind it off too tightly, but I didn't feel the need to do like a super stretchy bind off. It ended up working out fine, just standard bind off. So the yarn that I used was Scar and Leknit, the suggested yarn, and I chose the color Dusty Light Green. I actually have a whole ball left. I have like a ball and a half, and I don't think that this typically has a color name, but the site that I bought it off of did have a color name. But the number is 8561, if you can see, just in case you like this color and you want to get it. It's not like a completely solid green. It does have some like variation of white in there. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I really like the color. I'm very happy with this. Yeah, so that's the yarn that I used. I ended up only using 4.5 balls, not even, I don't think, for a size small. So yeah, I would just, if you're gonna knit the size small, maybe don't even buy 5. I bought 5 altogether, but I only needed 4.5. So yeah, I had never knit with this yarn before, and I really, really like it. It was very easy to work with. It wasn't too rough on my hands. It wasn't too sticky. It's a cotton linen blend, I believe. And let me see. So it's 53% cotton, 33% viscose, and 14% linen. And yeah, it was just a delight to work with. I loved seeing like the little variation in the color. I've never knit with another color, so I don't know how the other colors compare, but I understand the hype now with this yarn. I always was like, I'm never gonna knit with cotton. I have some cotton yarn that I bought in the past that I'm actually gonna knit another t-shirt of this like pattern in, but yeah, I was like, I'm never gonna knit with cotton. I don't like it. And then last year I tried to wear a wool garment in the summer and I just smelled like a sheep. I did not like it. I don't like how like when you sweat in wool you smell like damp wool. I do not like that smell. So like when you wash garments and get like that whiff of wool, I personally don't like that smell. So yeah, I don't like to smell like that in the summer. So I was like, you know what, let me just give cotton yarn a try. I saw that this had really great reviews, and then when I saw the pattern for the plain yoke tee, I was like, I think I'm gonna try knitting that, and it was a suggested yarn. And thankfully there's actually a shop in New Jersey called Mother Knitter, and they sell Leknit. I also shop from Woolen Company. They have such a great selection of yarn, so I could have bought off that too, but either site is great. The one in New Jersey gets to me pretty quickly though, so yeah, if you're local to New Jersey, Mother Knitter in Red Bank, I think they have an actual store so you can go and visit. But anyway, yeah, 10 out of 10 experience knitting with this. I 100% would knit with it again. I'm curious to see how it stretches and blocks out, and if it's gonna grow and like grow too long over time. I'm gonna be mindful of that. Like, as you can see, I have some sweaters and garments like hanging up on hangers, so I might just have to be mindful of that, to not hang this on a hanger and have it stretch out too long. But yeah, so the fit of this sweater, again, this isn't blocked, but I love the fit. I think it has, I'm realizing that I really, really like a circular yoke on my specific body type. I do like raglan as well, but I just feel like circular yoke fits my upper body well. I have kind of petite shoulders and a small upper body, but it can be really difficult because my like chest circumference is quite large. So finding the right fit that doesn't like just make me look like boxy or front. Sometimes I like the boxy look, but just makes me look like kind of frumpy. I have a short torso, but a very small upper back too, so, and then I just get really wide at the hips. So it can be really difficult to find tops that kind of like look nice on a short torso and wide hips and like tiny upper body, unless I'm like tucking things in. I try to always make things that tuck in, because if it's just like straight down, it really does not flatter my body type at all, I don't think. But I also don't like things to be super tight to my chest either. So that's all to say, I really like how the circular yoke has fit my body. I've only ever knit my my Provence pullover by Sorella in a circular yoke, and again, I really liked how that looked. So I almost feel like circular yokes are for me. So yeah, that being said, I really do like the fit of this. It is longer in the back. The sleeves are a little, they're just snug. They're not tight at all. They're not digging in at all. Yeah, it's very flowy. It's just wonderful. I really, really enjoyed this pattern. It took me quite a while to knit. But once I got the body done, the sleeves, I literally finished them today. It took me maybe a total of an hour to do both sleeves. So yeah, I knit them a little bit longer than what the pattern called for, and it's just because like mid-arm, upper arm is where I like my sleeves to end. And yeah, I have no complaints of this pattern. It's very, very simple. There's some thinking that you have to do when you're doing the yoke, like you do have to count while you're doing the increase rows, you do have to count, but it's not that bad. Like once you get the pattern going, you also can kind of visualize like where you did your last increase and where the next one is gonna fall. So it's very intuitive in my opinion. And I think if you have been wanting to try knitting a t-shirt, try knitting in a cotton linen blend, or just try something new, a circular yoke, whatever it may be, I think this is perfect, whether you're a beginner or you're someone with a lot of experience. I think this will go just in my daily wardrobe. It fits right into things I typically wear, and the color is just gorgeous. So all around 10 out of 10. I'm definitely gonna knit this again, actually in a yarn that I've had this for, I think actually since last summer. And I guess I'll tell a little funny story with this. My fiance Austin and I, on our first date, it was super awkward. I personally, I don't like dating. Like the dating stage for me has always been very awkward. Maybe I'm just an awkward person, I don't know, but we went on a date, and we were in this town in New Jersey that has my favorite local yarn store. So we stopped in. He was like, you know, take your time, such a gentleman. And I picked out these yarns and I went to go check out, and he took out his card to pay, and I was like, no, absolutely not. You are not paying for this yarn. I barely know you. I was so like offended for some reason, and I think I was just uncomfortable, and we've talked about it since then, like why I had that reaction. Like I just became very uncomfortable. Would you be uncomfortable like if you went on a first date and someone tried to pay for your yarn? Like I know how expensive yarn is, and I don't know, I just like was like, no, absolutely not. You're not paying for my hobby. Like, what if we don't even go on a second date? Like, but he was just being a gentleman. And now we're engaged. So anyway, so this yarn is the Juniper Moon Farm Zoe yarn, and it's a soft cotton linen blend. It's 60% cotton and 40% linen. I've considered doing tank tops with this, but I'm not like a tank top kind of girl. I like just wearing a loose fitting or a nice fitting t-shirt in the summer, or like a button down vest, kind of like loose fitting type of vibe, if that makes sense, like a collared shirt. But I don't really wear like tank tops, so now that I've knit this t-shirt, this would be perfect. I hope that I have enough yarn to knit it. I also have this yarn, let me see. So I also have it in this black color. So potentially we're gonna have 3 plain yoke tees by the end of the summer. I don't know. But definitely gonna knit it in this color next. So hopefully I'll get to cast that on soon, but I have some other works in progress that are kind of taking priority now. So I guess let's get into my works in progress. If you have watched my last podcast, I talked about the Gestaltung sweater. It's a raglan pullover that I really, really love. It's hanging up back there. It's the gray one. It's my last sweater that I made, and I love that sweater so much. I have a friend who really liked that sweater too, so she asked me if I would make it for her. She purchased the yarn, and I would be happy to. One thing about knitting that I love it for me personally, like it brings me so much joy to be knitting, but like it's such a gift that I've been given to be able to use my hands to make clothes and sustainable fashion that I don't often think about knitting for other people. And I don't know, I'm just very, like, my heart feels very warm that this person, this friend, wanted me to make something for her, and I get to now share that joy with her. So that's so sweet. I love that. And let me just show you. I don't have very much done. I literally just started. But yeah, I have started another Gestaltung sweater for my friend. And yeah, I just started the collar. But this one's gonna be a little bit different. So she gave me some inspiration for what she wanted, and so I'm gonna modify it a little bit. I'll show you what she sent me. So this is the vibe that she really wanted to go for. I think this sweater, it looks like it's done in like fisherman's rib or something. So I won't be knitting a fisherman's sweater, but I'm just taking inspiration from the neckline and the hems, like the body hem and then the arm cuffs. So I can tell she wants it to be like more oversized and have like that long cuff and longer hem. With the neckband, I'm gonna do a double folded one because I think in the photo it does look like it's double folded. So yeah, I'm gonna do double folded, just 1 by 1 rib. So I feel like this is a good width to have the neckband, so I'll just do double of this and then I will fold it over and begin knitting the short rows for the body. This sweater is such a beginner friendly sweater. It does have short rows, but you could do it without the short rows, I guess, or it would just be good practice because it's an all over stockinette raglan sweater, so it's pretty simple, I think. I don't think that this sweater, yeah, this sweater looks like drop shoulder, but when she saw my gray sweater, she really wanted one, so I'm just taking inspo, like bits and pieces from that, and making it something that she would like. So yeah, I will soon fold over for the neckband and then get things moving. I feel kind of bad I haven't been able to work on this that much, but once I get moving and have a little more free time, this is gonna go really fast. I'm knitting this with the same exact yarn I knitted my Gestaltung sweater in, and that is Barocco Ultra Wool DK. And this is just a different color. It's, I want to say it's dandelion, I think. That might be the color. It's just like this off-white, kind of like yellow tint to it type of color. So I don't have much to share about this, but hopefully by next time I'll have some decent progress on this. And yeah, let's talk about my next one, which again, I don't have that much progress on because I have been finishing this t-shirt and just have been really busy. So this is my, what even is this? This is my Eva cardigan by Petite Knit. And I have a split for sleeves, and I started knitting a sleeve. I was just getting tired of knitting flat, so I split for the sleeve and I cast it on the sleeve. So it's probably gonna be a little hard to see because it's so dark, but I did finish all of my increases for the neck and all of my raglan stitches too, and now I got a sleeve going. Really not much. I think the last time, yeah, I put a progress keeper where I was last time, and it was like right when I cast it on, or like started on the body, and I got like only a few rows done before I was like, I'm tired of knitting flat, let me go to the sleeves. So yeah, this is all I have. I think I got like one decrease done on the sleeve, and not much to say here. If you're wondering, I am knitting this in the recommended yarn, Sadness Garn Sunday? No, Pure Gint, and it's in the same shade that Petite Knit used for hers. It's like this beautiful navy blue color. It's very rich. I love this color. I think it'll be pretty flattering, but realistically, I probably won't finish this until the fall because I really want to get my friend her sweater, and I probably only will be casting on t-shirts and wanting to work on some socks. I still, this is really all I have to say about this, so I'm just going to put it over to the side. You probably won't see it until I get some actual progress on it, but yeah, anyway, so yeah, I want to really just stick to finishing my friend's sweater and then working on my t-shirts, and then I also have some sock projects that I want to finish. So I have my fiance's mom's socks, and she knows I'm making these for her, but I don't know the last time I even shared anything on this, but I'm pretty much at the same spot. I finished the heel flap and gusset, and now I'm just kind of making decreases for the foot. Good thing is she only wears a size 5. She's very tiny feet, US 5 women's. So I think I'll be able to finish the foot fairly quickly. She has such tiny feet, but yeah, this yarn is from the Sorella Disneyland collection, and it's called Main Street. And Austin's mom loves Disney like so much, so she'll understand the reference. And yeah, these are just so cute. It's not like my personal color palette, but it's just really adorable. It very much reminds me of like standard baby type of colors, baby blue, baby pink, the off-white. I think the reason I am having such a hard time continuing to knit them is because like I don't love the colors, but I just have to keep in mind it's not for me, it's for someone who really will like the colors and really appreciate these socks. So yeah, I would really like to finish these, and then I have this very interesting pair of socks. So I Austin gifted me the 52 Weeks of Socks Volume 2, and there were a pair of socks in there that I have been dying to make. They're a pattern by Retrosaria, and they released it like a year or two ago, way like before the book came out, but it's only available in the book. And if you don't know, I have a soft spot for Retrosaria because I visited that store on my first ever solo trip across the country, or not across the country, overseas to Europe. It was my first time in Europe. So yeah, I really wanted to knit these socks. And while I was in DC, I bought this yarn. It's the Retrosaria Vovo yarn. I bought it in the black and white color, and it's very woolly wool. And I went to go cast on the socks and I realized that I got the wrong yarn. So this pattern, you can either use the Vovo, or there's another yarn that's more fingering weight. This is more of like a DK weight sock yarn, and it's used for the large size. And I have tiny feet, so the large size isn't gonna work for me. So I casted it on just like on a very small needle size, and it's fine. It's still very thick, and I think it's gonna be too big, so it's not gonna work out. The other thing is, this sock pattern is super unique because it's knit completely inside out. So you are purling the entire time, but then you flip it inside out and it's just like absolutely beautiful. I'll show you because I'm gonna have to cast them or frog them and just find like a fingering weight yarn that works for these, but this pattern is just so freaking cute and I really want to knit it. So I got as far as like the little like triangle motif that you start with, and then I was like, let me just, it's okay, the progress keeper fell off, but that's okay. And I had started like joining in the decrease or the contrast color, but yeah, this is just gonna be way too big for me, and I'm sad, but I have no idea what I'll reuse this yarn for. I have 3 balls of the cream color and I have 2 of the black, so I don't know. What are your ideas? What could I do with that yarn? I guess I could make like really cool mittens. This would be really cool like for mittens. I personally like probably wouldn't wear a black and white hat, but definitely mittens. I could find like some cool color work mittens maybe. So yeah, unfortunately this is not gonna work, but eventually I will knit those socks. I will knit these socks, this pattern, eventually. I just have to find a better yarn, I guess. I do have some like cream yarn. I have this yarn, but it's more of like it's kind of like peachy undertones, I think. So I don't know. I think I want like the stark contrast. So I just have to continue to look for the right yarn. I feel like I ended up talking for quite a long time and I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, that is all I have today. I have plenty of yarn to work through for the next 6 months probably, so likely will not be buying anything. I also am on a social media ban, at least Instagram. I deleted my Instagram. I just deleted the app because it was beginning to become a problem. You know, instead of reading or reaching for my knitting, I was just scrolling on social media. So I'm deleting it for the next month and we'll see how that goes, but that's less temptation for me to want to buy yarn because I see all the time on Instagram yarn that I really like. So yeah, I guess I'll end this video here. Please leave a comment, a like, subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like to stay updated on all of my projects. But I would love to hear what you're knitting, just your summer plans, anything, any questions you have. Feel free to leave them in the comments. Until next time, happy knitting, and I'll see you in the next podcast.